Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Canisius College EduFair 2021 College Presentation. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Jan, and I will be moderating this session. Now, without further ado, let's go straight to the presentation from the College of Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen, that will be presented by Mr. Murray. To Mr. Murray, the stage is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Selamat pagi. Thank you very much for joining me today. Sorry I can't be there in person. I'd love to be with you all and seeing you all, but unfortunately, times being as they are, we have to do this online. So looking forward to the day when I can actually get to Canisius and meet you all in person. My name is Murray Johnson. I'm from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen. I'm the head of international admissions. And I'll try and talk for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll take some questions at the end. So this picture on the screen at the moment, this is our campus. This is our university. We're fortunate to have a fantastic world-class university located in a fantastic, gorgeous setting, set on the side of a hill. We've got lakes, everything like this. The lower campus on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see here. This is the main teaching area of our campus. And the upper campus here is where most of the students live. This is the dormitories. We have a bus service that takes students from upper to lower campus. But then we also have lake with the walking paths. We have part of this hill with the walking paths all over. We're very fortunate to have such a gorgeous place to study. So let's get into the details. What is the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Shenzhen? This is a relatively new university. We opened only 7 to 8 years ago. We're actually on our 8th year of education now. And I'll probably talk about this quite a lot because in a very short period of time, in just 8 years, this university has become one of the top universities in China and is already making a really large impact in the education system worldwide. This is largely because of the foundation which we have. We're built on a one brand, two campuses basis, linking to the Chinese University of Hong Kong in Hong Kong, a university which is ranked 39th in the world. So this is a fantastic system on which to build, and our university has already met the expectations of the main campus. All of our programs are taught in English. You do not need Chinese to come here to study, but you'll hear me say quite a few times that actually Chinese is very useful to have for obvious reasons. The main question which I guess a lot of you would be asking is, why would I come here? Is this the right university for me? And there's a few questions which I'd be posing back to you, because I'm not going to pretend that this is the university for everyone. I know a lot of universities are, look, we just take anyone, but here, this university is not for every student. Obviously, you have to be wanting to study the right majors: business, science, technology, engineering and maths, psychology, or music. But more than this, you have to be someone who is academically strong. This is a really competitive university. The standards and the expectations here are very, very high. And this is why we look to schools like Canisius for our students, because we need to get the strongest students to come here and be able to compete with the Chinese students and to complete the studies which we're doing. But more than this, I'd also suggest that we're looking for students, or this is an option which may not be the most popular with a lot of people. I know a lot of students will be thinking, I want to stay at the best universities in Indonesia. I want to go to Singapore, to NUS or to NTU, or to Hong Kong, or maybe to America, UK, Australia, places like this, because these countries have these great universities. But this is a location which really offers unique opportunities. And looking at the future, looking at where the world is going, understanding of China and understanding of Chinese culture is going to be really important. And if you come here and you study at our university, you're going to get this world-class education, this education which can put you in an amazing position for the future, with skills, with abilities, with traits, which no one else will have in the job market that you're applying to, and will therefore give you an edge over your opposition and the other people who are applying for jobs. So essentially, all this comes down to the very last question here. Are you ready for a challenge? Coming to this university is not a holiday. If you come here, you're going to have to work hard to be successful. But the benefits, the opportunities, the places that this university can lead you are amazing. So if you're ready for the challenge, this is probably the place for you. Let's go on and talk about the majors that you can study here, because obviously this is a very important place to start. Our main areas of interest or main areas of expertise are management and economics, the business school, and also our science schools. So we have 3 science schools: School of Science and Engineering, School of Data Science, and School of Life and Health Sciences. And this is where most students will choose to study. Our business school linked to the CUHK Business School, so ranked in the top 30 in the world, offering a range of programs from economics, finance, business studies, marketing, communications, and accounting. In the science fields, we cover quite a wide range of fields here. The most popular courses for international students are obviously things like computer science and engineering. And depending on your interest in computer science, you can then go into something like electronic computer engineering, to bioinformatics, to biomedical science and engineering, to new energy science, and so forth. The other field in the science, which is really popular, is data science and big data technology, which is a huge growth industry at the moment. Why are these so important in China and at our university? Let's look at the business school first. All business goes through China at the moment. All supply chains have some sort of link to China. You can't really survive in the business world now without knowing and working with China. So that's a very good place to start. The ranking of our business school, the accreditation of our business school, the professors who come in from all around the world, but also the last point that I talk about here is who you're studying with. You're going to be studying with these elite Chinese students here. You're going to be studying with these students who are going to be leading Chinese businesses in the future. For 4 years, you're going to be living, working, breathing, eating, studying with these students. And these are the people who could make your business life in the future. All business goes through China. You come here and you study business at our university, you're going to be building relations with these students. For science and engineering, why do you come here to study? Again, okay, we've got amazing courses, we've got amazing professors. I could talk about all that, and I will talk about that a little bit more later. But the other side here too is, whereas many other countries around the world are cutting their research and development budgets, China is pouring money into science. And the result is that universities like ours are really benefiting from this. We already have 6 or 7 world-class research institutes led by Nobel laureates. So for example, if you're interested in computer science and robotics, we have the Artificial Intelligence and Robotics Laboratory. We also have the Shenzhen Research Institute into Big Data. We have the Institute of Computational Biology, Regenerative Medicine, Innovative Drug Discovery, the Shenzhen Finance Institute. All of these groups are led by Nobel laureates and are doing research at the forefront of knowledge at the moment. And when you come here to study, you can get involved in these research projects. You can help to participate in this. So what I'm sort of suggesting here is you're studying with these amazing students, but you're also getting opportunities above and beyond just the world-class education that you're getting here. And these are the sorts of reasons why studying science and business here is so useful. I should also mention our 2 other schools. We also have the School of Humanities and Social Science, not normally so popular with international students. Applied Psychology is reasonably popular, but the English Studies and Translation programs are a little bit less so. And we've also opened the Conservatory of Music. Unfortunately, they've noted that this year they're unlikely to take international applications for the 2022 intake due to the pandemic, but they will definitely be opening in 2023 for international students. So let's go into a few other reasons then. If you've decided, or if you've heard the introduction here and you've gone, yeah, okay, I'm interested. Let me try and sell you a little bit more on this. Let's talk about why this university is right for you. Starting with quality. I've already kind of touched on this already, but essentially, in just 7 years, CUHK Shenzhen has already become the #1 joint university in China. This puts us ahead of Xi'an Jiaotong, Liverpool, University of Nottingham, Ningbo, New York University, Shanghai, Duke, Kunshan, all the other joint universities in China. We're also becoming one of the top universities in China amongst all the Chinese universities. We're recruiting students at a standard equivalent to Zhejiang University, which is ranked 48th in the world. We're the #1 university in southern China by GPA admissions, above all the other universities in southern China. And again, this is in just 7 years that we've achieved this. The trajectory and the opportunities and the projections for where our university is going to go is sky high. So we're coming here to study. You're studying at a university which certainly is far away from reaching its potential, but is already achieving amazing things in a very short time. Students, when they graduate with a CUHK degree. So you're graduating with a degree from a university which is ranked 39th in the world. Obviously, this is built on the quality of the education that we offer. All of our courses are taught in English, as we've mentioned before. The courses are courses which are taken from CUHK in fields which China has some sort of competitive advantage. So I've already talked about how China leads the world in business. China's pouring money into science and education, science and technology. This is why these fields have been chosen at this university. And then also what the university has really done is work to bring back top ranked professors, especially Chinese professors from all around the world, to come here and teach. So our faculty consists primarily of Chinese professors who lived, studied, and worked at universities overseas, but also professors from CUHK main campus and international staff from all around the world. And because we have a very generous staff-student ratio, it's very easy to meet these professors and work with them and to get to know them while you're here. But the education is only part of it. We also then go on and try and offer Chinese language training, Chinese culture training, because this is obviously a reason why you're coming to China. But we also maintain the liberal arts approach of CUHK to offer whole person education, to develop people as a whole rather than just in their field of study. I've kind of touched on it so far, but I'll repeat again, the quality of our Chinese students in particular, but also our international students is amazing. Within China, we're recruiting equivalent to one of the top 5 universities in China. We're taking students away from Tsinghua, from Beida, from Fudan, from these top universities in China. And this is becoming one of China's best universities, again, in just 7 years. So when you're here studying, you're building networks and you're building relationships with these elite Chinese students. Now, I've talked a lot about the study and about the challenges presented. Obviously, there's more to life at this university than just this study. We have a wide range of activities on campus, both Eastern and Western. Our Indonesian student community is often very active too, with running activities for the students to teach about this. But our campus in general is designed to help students study and to do their best. So we've got group study rooms, we've got computer laboratories, Wi-Fi, we've got 2 libraries on campus, but then we've also got art rooms, painting rooms, band rooms, music rooms, canteens, coffee shops. We've got a Starbucks on campus, a Subway on campus. Our sports facilities are amazing. We've got a full-size Olympic swimming pool. I think we've got about 6 gyms on campus so far, about 7 or 8 dance studios on campus. Essentially, we're trying to create a campus where students can come and do this high-level study, who can perform at their best academically, but at the same time, enjoy themselves, relax, have fun, and enjoy their life while they're here. One of the best ways to evaluate the success of our university is who recognizes us worldwide. And again, within just 7 years, over 110 of the world's best universities have set up partnerships with our university. So when you come here to study, if you want, you have the opportunity to go to these other universities and continue your studies at these universities. If you want to continue to postgraduate studies, again, most of our students, over 2/3 of our students, about 2/3 of our students, will go to these top 50 universities to study. So if you look at the list that I've included here, you'll see a lot of the world's best universities. In America, Yale, University of California, LA, University of California, Berkeley, Duke. In the UK, University College London, Cambridge, London School of Economics, and we've recently signed up with Oxford and with St. Andrews. In other countries around the world, Seoul National University, #1 in Korea, Technical University of Munich, #1 in Germany, University of Melbourne, #1 in Australia. All of these universities are world-class universities, and their recognition emphasizes what opportunities you have at this university and the quality of education we're providing. And if we look in particular at the 2 Singaporean universities, this will give you a bit of an idea about what opportunities you have. So while you're studying at our university, you can go to NUS during the summertime and you can do summer programs there. You can go to NTU for a semester and do an exchange program. You can sign up with us and do 3 years in Shenzhen and then 2 years in Singapore and get your undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications. Undergraduate from us, postgraduate from the National University of Singapore. And again, why are these universities willing to do this, to make these partnerships? because we're producing top quality students, students who meet their expectations. And to be honest, are often exceeding their expectations. I've talked a lot about the study, and I talked a little bit before about the research facilities on campus. Within our campus, we also have something called the Center for Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship, CIDE, and we have the Makers Workshop, which is a facility partnered with Stanford University, where students can go and make their own dreams, to chase their own ideas. And so within campus, we have a lot of opportunities for students to really develop. But actually, one of the big selling points is once you get outside campus. Shenzhen is one of the most amazing cities in China. We have one of the highest employment rates. We have the highest graduate salary of any of the major universities in China. And this is largely because of our location. And if you're not familiar with the geography of China, we're down here in the southeastern corner, down between Guangzhou and Hong Kong. And essentially, Shenzhen is one of the most dynamic cities in China. It's the Silicon Valley of the world now. It's home to so many high-tech companies. It's home to one of the largest stock markets in China, in the world. It's still a very lively and vibrant place though. And what this means is if you come here to study, you have internship opportunities at some of the world's best companies. These are opportunities you won't get anywhere else in the world. A recent report was talking about how 1 month here in Shenzhen is like spending 4 or 5 months anywhere else, especially in the fields of science and technology. And then that's not even touching just on China as a whole. The world's changing. Values and way people operate is not the same as it was. And so coming to China to complete your degree will give you this knowledge and this understanding of China, Chinese people, Chinese culture, which is essential to succeed in the future, in the world, which is kind of developing at the moment. You're not going to get this same understanding by reading a book or checking the newspapers or things like this. So the final point that I want to talk about before going through the application process is about scholarships. We have very generous scholarships. There are some annual scholarships here, which are awarded each year, but the main scholarship most people want is this one, the 4-year entry scholarship. And that's because obviously it's for 4 years, for the duration of your study at the university. This goes up to full tuition, full accommodation, and full living allowance, provided you can keep a GPA of 3.0 or higher. So essentially, you have to demonstrate your academic ability. And so one of the most common questions is, how do we get this scholarship? Any student who applies to our university is automatically considered for this scholarship. You don't have to put in a special application. Just by applying, we'll decide whether you qualify for this scholarship. The key is going to be the interview. And this is an interview with 1 or 2 professors. And essentially what the professors are looking at is, how do we think this student will perform at our university? You have to convince us that you're going to be able to come here and meet the requirements of this university and perform well. And if you can do that, you can get this scholarship, which is full tuition, full accommodation and above, or maybe one of the lower levels, depending on how you go. So final things, and then I'll take a couple of questions. Applying to our university is free. You do not have to pay to apply. You will complete a maths test. All students are required to complete a maths test. And if you're being considered for a scholarship, you'll get an interview with 1 or 2 professors. The standards that we're looking at for Canisius, we expect a score of 85 or higher in the sciences, and this includes in both regular and extension maths. For business and humanities, we take a slightly lower standard, so about 80s. This is just to be considered for admission to our university. This is not guaranteeing a position. This is definitely not guaranteeing scholarships. Scholarships will be much higher than this. Some deadlines. Applications will open on the 10th of October, so in about a month's time. I'd recommend you get your applications in early. The best scholarships will be available in this first round of applications. So first round of applications will close on the 28th of December. The maths test will be held on the 30th of December and interviews will be in early January. If you do want good scholarships, this is the best time to apply because the scholarships may be reduced for the later rounds. Final applications are due on the 15th of May. In terms of expenses, the annual costs are 95,000 RMB, which is about 14,500 US dollars. Accommodation is very, very cheap, only 1,200 RMB. And we estimate that living costs will be about 2,000 RMB, depending on how you live your life here. Noting, of course, that almost all of our international students receive accommodation on scholarship, and most international students will receive discounts on their tuition fees because of scholarships also. So that's all I wanted to say. I think I've gone a little bit longer than I hoped to, so I may not be able to answer too many questions. I'll answer a couple, but do please come and approach me this afternoon in the booth section, and I'm very happy to talk to you more. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. Murray, for the presentation. We have around about 2.5 minutes for answering questions. I'm gonna just instantly go to the questions so we can hopefully answer more questions. All right, so first of all is from Samuel Gerard Paduan. So what are the differences between studying in cities like Shanghai or Beijing compared to a city like Shenzhen?
Oh, wow, big question. 2.5 minutes, you reckon? Shanghai and Shenzhen are quite similar. Beijing is very different. Beijing is more of a cultural center. Shenzhen and Shanghai are probably more business centers. Shanghai is possibly a little bit more international than Shenzhen, but Shenzhen is developing into that. But Shenzhen is really the technical center, whereas I guess Shanghai may be more of a business center, would probably be my estimation of that. Beijing being the capital is kind of a bit of everything, really.
Okay, perhaps we can go to one more question from Brian Tobias. So what are Chinese University Hong Kong's most famous and most popular majors?
Most popular majors, especially for international students, would be computer science and engineering, global business studies, data science, and finance. These are the 4 that most students sign up for. There are others which are obviously very impressive too. I mean, new energy science and fields like this are obviously very interesting. We get quite a lot of applications, but those 4 would be the main 4 that students sign up for.
All right, so it looks like we're nearing the end of our session. To Mr. Murray, do you perhaps want to give a closing statement?
Thank you all very much for your time. I'm really sorry that I haven't actually been able to visit Canisius yet. I've heard so many wonderful things about it, and we've been very impressed with the students that we have from Canisius at our university so far. So we really hope to get more Canisius students in the future, and we really value the time that you give us to introduce our university here today. Again, we'd love to talk to you at any time. If you have any questions about our university, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Murray. I am now going to close the session, but before that, I want to remind everyone here that if you want to learn more about Chinese University of Hong Kong Shenzhen, then you can check out the virtual booth in the EduFair application or maybe the EduFair website. There you can find links that will give you more detailed information. This event is sponsored by